interesting things, that when you go into geometry, let's take the 5 regular polyhedra, also known as the Platonic solids, they can generate a series of numbers. Now Malcolm has said, well, to get the harmonic frequency of any geometric form, take the sum of the interior angles. And I had already done that. And so I'd come up with these numbers: the tetrahedron, 720, the cube, 2,160. And by the way, all of these numbers are going to show up on Malcolm's, the PUM, plasma unification model, exactly. And 1440, which is, you know, that's a repetitive number. We find it in the Bible, not necessarily as 1440, but as 144, as 144,000. And as Malcolm says, the number of zeros isn't the critical thing, right? So all of this was fitting in with the things I had already learned and had thought deeply about. And now here's this guy telling me, well, these numbers are at the basis of an ancient technology. And I said, I knew it. I knew it. Yep. So
incredible.
The dodecahedron. And then, see, in my geological studies, let me jump forward.
Okay.
Well, I found these numbers everywhere. Just like time measure in our day. I think Sheila was talking about this earlier, right? 24 hours in a day. 24 hours is 1,440 minutes.
Wow.
1,440 minutes is 86,400 seconds. And if you take 12 hours, that's 720 minutes, 43,200 seconds. So now you get this repetition. And I thought this was really interesting because way back in the early 70s, I started studying Middle Eastern philosophy, and I read a lot of the Vedas. And in the Vedas, these numbers show up. For example, the measure of the yuga time cycles. These vast time cycles, the kalpas, the day and night of Brahma. And here were these numbers, right, recurring redundantly in these various, and then they show up in the Sumerian king lists. They show up in Mayan traditions. They show up in the numbers that measure our solar system, the Earth, the moon. I jumped back to this here, and yeah, the cube, 2,160 degrees. Well, the moon is very, very close to 2,160 miles. A little bit of deviation, but again, in my mind, it's like, okay, but that doesn't matter, because and some of the critics, they say, well, it's actually 2,161 miles, or the sun is actually 865,000. Well, I say, well, if you include the chromosphere, yeah, but when we measure the Earth, do we include the atmosphere, or do we measure the solid Earth? Right. So, but again, it led me back to this idea of, well, okay, so we're looking at manifestation. We're looking at the incarnation of matter and energy in time and space. But that replication, of course, is going to have a slight deviation from the idealized template of creation.
Certainly.
Right?
Yeah.
So it seemed like the critics just couldn't quite get that.